Hi there. I'm going to talk about images, resizing images, reformatting images, uploading onto your website. This is actually my second attempt. The first attempt, I uploaded this video and then realized you actually couldn't see what I'd been doing. So the screen was blank. I think now you can see my screen and you can hear my voice, hopefully. So if we take this part of the website as an example, and this is the home page, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images. They are sitting together, and the width of all those, this whole area is 1500 pixels. It's slightly more constrained underneath, and the width down here is about 1100 or 1200. Can't remember exactly. And for the whole purpose of this, I'm going to talk approximations because it's just to give you some idea of the type of size we're talking about. I don't think you need to lose sleep about getting things exactly right, because the browser will do a little bit of the work. It will do a bit of resizing for you anyway. So it's not a big deal to be 100% accurate. What you want to try and avoid is having really wide images, really deep images, images that are the wrong ratio, or images that are the wrong dots per inch, because all of that sort of stuff there, when they get wildly out, the browser has to do a lot of work to get it to the right size, particularly if it's trying to scale it to a mobile. So that's that out of the way. And let's say this is 1500 pixels. So each of these images here is going to be approximately 350 pixels wide. So 350, 350, 350, 350, 350. And they're approximately 4:3 ratio. So this is going to be, the height is going to be something like it's going to be something like 230. So it'll be sort of like, say 350, 230, something like that. And as long as they're sort of like roughly around that sort of thing, the browser can actually resize them really well. And then that ratio. And you would think that that would be kind of perfect. If you actually did everything like that, these would all fit nicely in the boxes, job done. A slight problem's caused when, if I resize this page slightly, this browser, and so we can see how it looks on smaller browsers. So smaller browsers, fine. But when you go down to somewhere like this, and this is about 760 pixels width, this actually does it. The images suddenly go big, and that's because your web browser is trying to fill up the space with the image to fill the device. And this device here, this would be something like an iPad, tipped up portrait-wise. So if this area is sort of 760, which is roughly the area that happens, these images need to be, and we can allow for a bit of gap here and a bit of gap here. So these images need to be at about 700 pixels width in order to be quite sharp, because if they were 320 pixels or 330 pixels in width, and we kept them at that width, when they're blown up to double the size, they would pixelate. So all the images on this page, on your front page, are actually 700 pixels wide in order to take account for all this. I say all of them because what I did was I made one of your images smaller just to show you what it would be like if we actually kept it at 230. In this area, it can't expand the image anymore. It actually depends on the type of block you're using. Some blocks will actually say, right, I'll just keep the image at this size. And that's what's happened here. Some blocks will try and expand the image to the full width of the block. And so it will pixelate. So you get a bigger image, but it will pixelate. Here, the images just stayed the same size, but it looks odd. So we do need to sort of like get this sort of 700 pixels in width and of the correct ratio. So to do that, I have got what I prepared earlier. This is that image, and it is image 2018927 underscore etc etc. I'm going to open it up. So right clicking on my mouse, and I'm going to open up with Photos. Photos is a Windows photo editing suite, and it's on every Windows machine. So I'm using this. I don't normally use this one, but I'm using it because I know you're going to have it. So there we are. This is the original. And as you can see, the ratio is quite wide here. Now it might work. It might actually just make it look a bit narrower than it should be when I upload it. So to avoid that, I'm going to try and get to that 4:3 ratio. And I click this to edit it. And then this will allow me to crop it. So I drag this in. And this is about there on her head. And it'd be about there on your shirt. And save a copy. And I will save it as the same file. I have got this backed up elsewhere, so it doesn't matter if I overstore. Ignore that. So yeah, that's more or less the right sort of like width now, or the right ratio. But I just want to know if it's the right width. So I need this to be about 700 pixels. So if I go to these three dots here and I click resize image, it is approximately 700. It's just slightly under. Let me just add 2 pixels to it, so make this 700. It shouldn't affect it that much because it's only 2 pixels. I don't normally like to resize up. If anything, resize down, because obviously the pixel, you lose a bit of definition when you resize up, but it should be okay. So I click save now. Once again, I save as that. And actually, if you notice here as well, the size is 55K, which is a really good, that's going to load very, very quickly. So click save. There we are. We're done with that. I'll close this down. And this is the file we've got. And when I did this previously, I said I did do this once. I then sort of like went on to say that when search engines look at your website, they look at the page, they look at the content, they look at the images, they look at the written content, they look at the images. And they try and work out whether the images are relating to that content. And then they know how to index the page, so it makes it easier sort of like for indexing sort of pages. If they actually see an image, and the way they do that is they look at the title firstly. So if they see an image that is IMG _ 2018070, they have no idea what that relates to. And so they don't bother indexing the image. In some cases, they may index it incorrectly. So what you want to do is you want to actually sort of like give the image some sort of like name that the search engines can sort of like understand in terms of being able to index it. If we go back to here, this is Open Training Days image. And yeah, so let's just call it Open Training Days. Like I said, I've already done this one, so I'm going to show you in a minute what how it looks when it's uploaded, because I've already uploaded it to your website. So we call it Open Days Training. No, it doesn't matter if I actually misspell it because it's already uploaded anyway. Okay, so now it's spelled correctly. It's a nice size. We know the ratios are right and all the rest of it, so we can upload it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag over another browser that's logged into your admin side, and I'm in the media file here, and this is the file I uploaded a little while ago. And as you can see, I've done media training open day, and Google reads that. When I uploaded it, this area was blank. So the first thing I did when I checked the image out was I actually put in some more information, because Google also reads the alternative text in order to help index the page and index the image and the content on that page. So all of that sort of stuff, it uses this alternative text. So leaving this blank, you're not helping out Google very much. You're not helping out your search engine optimization. So what I did was I added Steve doing interviews. So it now knows this is an interview, it's of a training day, that sort of thing. I'm doing this quite quickly, and maybe if you go back and have a look at a few of your images and just sort of like and make them a little bit more search engine optimized friendly, you know, rather than just a number. So that's what I've got now. I'm going to close that. So now I know that's kind of all, it's all good for SEO, the size is right and everything. I can go and now add that to the page. So pages, all pages, we're going to go to the front page here. This is the image we're talking about. And so the image within this block, this is the one I'm going to change, and I'm going to change it to that. There's the size, there's that, that's all my alt text going in there. Done. And that now is a really good size image, good for SEO. And just to double check, we can go now to back to the other browser. Let's drag him over. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, where are we? Oh, there we are. This should now, if I refresh, this should now resize to 700. There you go. Nice and sharp. It's got all the SEO stuff in there. That's all done. And I think that's about it, really. That's sort of like covering, renaming the images so they're good for SEO rather than just having numbers and letters, and resizing images and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully you find that useful. Speak soon.